Here's the full breakdown for today's slate, and this time we're not just reading picks off a board. We're combining the model view with the real-world context around each match. Let's start in Turkey. Hatayspor against Adana Demirspor. The model likes Hatayspor. It projects 2.24 expected goals for the home side, just 0.91 for Adana, and gives Hatayspor a 66.8% home win probability. It also tags this as an open game, with the over 2.5 number sitting at 61%. On model numbers alone, this looks like a straightforward home win, but the qualitative layer makes it messy. Hatayspor have been awful at home. They haven't won any of their last 16 home league games. Adana have also been awful away, with no wins in their last 16 on the road. So this is really a match between two dysfunctional teams. Adana have little left to play for, and that helps Hatayspor a bit, but the price is still too short for a side with that kind of home record. The model says home win. The reality check says the draw is far more alive than the odds suggest. So for me, this is not a core bet. The model is strong, but the context drags the value down hard. Next up, FC Schweinfurt against RW Essen. The model is much clearer here. Expected goals come in at 1.17 for Schweinfurt and 2.37 for Essen. That is a big attacking gap. The away win probability is 63.6%, and the over 2.5 sits at 68.5. This is also tagged as an open game. The qualitative side mostly agrees with the direction. Schweinfurt are bottom, badly undermanned, and still missing multiple players. They were hammered 4-0 in their last outing. Essen, meanwhile, are chasing serious league objectives and come in with the stronger squad, the stronger form profile, and the stronger motivation. The problem is not quality. The problem is match texture. Schweinfurt have been drawn a lot at home, and some of those games have turned into ugly, slow, low-event contests. So even though the model points clearly to Essen, the biggest danger is not a home upset. It's the 1-1 or the 0-0 that kills the favorite, that keeps Essen in play, but not as a top-tier anchor. Good enough for a secondary slip, not clean enough for the main one. Now to Australia. Melbourne City against Central Coast Mariners. The model makes City a home favorite. Expected. Goals are 1.78 to 0.86. Home win probability is 58.5%, and the match is labeled home edge. Over 2.5 sits below the strongest goal environments on the slate, at 49.3%. The case for City is easy to understand. They've been solid, they've been organized, and Central Coast have had very little joy in this venue. But the qualitative layer adds friction. City are missing Marcus Younis, and that matters. He has been a major attacking contributor. Central Coast are not in great shape overall, but they are still awkward to beat, and City's price is so short that even a decent edge gets squeezed. This is one of those spots where the model says the favorite is right, but the betting value is thin. So I'm not rejecting City because the model is wrong. I'm leaving City out because the price leaves almost no room for error. Now Germany. John Regensburg against Erzgebirge. All. This is one of the strongest plays on the whole slate. The model projects 1.95 expected goals for Regensburg and 1.21 for all. Home win probability is 54%. The over 2.5 number is 61%. The price is 2.01. Which is immediately interesting because it gives us a real return without asking us to swallow a microscopic number. And then the qualitative layer comes in and strengthens it. Alway are in chaos. They just lost 3-5, then sacked both the coach and the sporting director. The interim setup is in place almost immediately before the match, and the messaging coming out of the club is not one of belief. It's damage control. That matters. Regensburg don't need to be an elite side here. They just need to be the more stable team, the more coherent team, and the side with fewer fires burning internally. At around even money, that is enough for me. This is a main slip selection, and not just because the model likes it, because the context makes the model case stronger, not weaker. Now to England, League One. Port Vale against Rotherham. This is a good example of why raw model output can't be followed blindly. The model gives Port Vale 1.52 expected goals against 0.85 for Rotherham. It assigns a 52.2% home win probability and labels the match home edge. At first glance, you could talk yourself into the home side, but the qualitative picture is ugly. Port Vale were smashed 7-0 by Chelsea in the Cup and come into this game carrying that humiliation. They have also been terrible at home for a long stretch. Rotherham have a brutal injury list, So this is not a healthy away side either, but the overall match profile still looks grim. Both teams have struggled badly for goals, and the most believable version of this game is not a clean home win. It's a low-quality, low-scoring grind. So this is not going anywhere near the main slip. If anything, the goals environment points more toward an under than a Port Vale win. The model sees home value, the context says pass. Now League 2. Bromley against Shrewsbury Town. The model gives Bromley 1.5 expected. Goals in Shrewsbury 0.85. Home win probability is 51.7%. Over 2.5 is only 41.6, so this is not being projected as a wild game. It's tagged as a home edge spot, and that fits the profile. Then the qualitative side comes in and supports the same direction. Bromley have been very reliable at home. They're unbeaten in their last 10 on this ground. They concede little, they control matches well enough, and they don't need chaos to win. Shrewsbury, on the other side, have been poor away, allowing too much and offering too little consistency. The earlier meeting ended 0-0, which is worth remembering, but that mostly tells you this could be a patient home win rather than a demolition. That's exactly why Bromley makes the main slip. Not because it's flashy, because the model and the real-world context are aligned. That usually matters more than highlight reel upside. Back to Turkey. Manisa against Pendikspor. The model gives Manisa just 0.99 expected goals and Pendikspor 1.54 away win. Probability is 49.5%, with the draw at 27.1. The match is tagged away edge, and the market selection is the away win at 1.83. The qualitative layer supports the direction, but not without risk. Manisa are in bad shape. The recent defensive record is ugly, the recent results are ugly, and the disciplinary situation is even uglier. They have multiple suspensions and look unstable. Pendikspor are the better side on paper and in the table, and that's why the model leans toward them. But Pendikspor are not arriving with a clean bill of health either. They're missing pieces, and Thuram being out matters because it weakens the sharpest end of the attack. That's why I don't rate this at the same level as Regensburg or Bromley. Still, the overall edge remains on the away side because Manisa's situation is worse, so Pendikspor stays in the main slip, but it's one of the lower confidence legs inside that group. Now back to Germany. Energy Cottbus against 1,860 Munich. This is the main goals play in the second tier of the card. The model projects 1.6. 5 expected goals for Cottbus and 1.25 for 1,860. The straight 1x2 picture is competitive, but the over 2.5 probability is 55.5%, which is enough to trigger the goals market. The odds are 1.58. Now the context. Both teams still have reasons to attack. Cottbus are in the promotion conversation. 1,860 are still pushing and do not benefit much from a passive approach. That matters because motivation is not just about desire, it changes game state. And in matches where neither side is happy to settle, the over becomes much more live. This isn't a no-brainer, because high-stakes matches can also tighten up. But between the model showing enough goal probability and the qualitative expectation of both sides needing to play forward, the over still makes sense. That's why it lands on the backup slip. Now Waldhof Mannheim against Hoffenheim 2. This one is volatile. The model projects 2.03 expected goals for Mannheim and 1.77 for Hoffenheim 2. That is a big total profile. Over 2.5 is massive at 73.1%, while the home win probability is 43.9. So even the model is telling you this match is open and noisy. The selected market is still the home win at 2.09. The qualitative layer is mixed. Mannheim have the home spot and the better motivational context. Hoffenheim, too, are a reserve side, and those teams can be hard to trust away from home. But Mannheim have been draw-heavy, and Hoffenheim, too, just show they can create chaos in a high-scoring match. So the home win case exists, but it is not a calm case. It's a value case with volatility attached. That's why this stays out of the main slip. Useful for the backup coupon. Too unstable for the core one. Now Scotland. Ayr United against Dunfermline Athletic. The model does not love this game as a premium spot. It gives Ayr 1.29 expected goals and Dunfermline 1.21. The home, draw, and away probabilities are fairly compressed. The match is labeled pass match. The selected market is under 2.5, and the model probability on that side comes out to 54.2%. The qualitative side is what makes the under playable. Ayr have had a draw-heavy season, Their games often drift into controlled, low-scoring shapes. Dunfermline are the better side overall, but that does not automatically make this an open contest. It can just as easily become a measured road performance against a home side that struggles to create tempo. So this is not a headline pick. It is a backup slip angle. A lower ceiling, lower chaos read in a match where the under has a credible path. And finally, Wrexham against Southampton. This is the cleanest goals angle on the board. The model gives Wrexham 1.26 expected goals and Southampton 1.54. The Saints actually have the stronger win probability, but the selected market is over 2.5 at 1.83, with the over probability at 53.1. Now add the real-world layer. Wrexham have been leaking goals at home. Southampton come in with momentum. Both sides still have something meaningful to play. 4. That combination matters because it pushes the match toward a live game state. Neither side is built for 90 cautious minutes here. Wrexham's matches have been open. Southampton have enough attacking quality to make that openness expensive. Even with some rotation risk on the Saints' side, the logic still leans toward goals rather than silence. That is why this goes into the main slip. Not because the over probability is the biggest number on the board, because the model signal and the qualitative match script point in the same direction. So when the full board is filtered down, here is the final structure. Main slip: John Regensburg to win, Bromley to win, Pendixpor to win. Wrexham against Southampton, over 2.5 goals. Backup slip: RW Essen to win. Energy Cottbus against 1,860 Munich, over 2.5 goals. Waldhof Mannheim to win. Ayr United against Dunfermline, under 2.5 goals. And here are the matches I am leaving out. Hatayspor against Adana Demirspor. The model is strong, but the home side's actual home record makes the price bad. Melbourne City against Central Coast Mariners. The favorite is logical, but the price is too short once the squad issues are accounted for. Port Vale against Rotherham. The model says home edge. The qualitative layer says this match is too ugly to trust. If I rank the strongest positions on the slate, Regensburg is right at the top. Bromley is in the next group. Wrexham against Southampton over 2.5 is the best goals bet, and Pendixpor makes the main slip, but with a little more caution than the others. That's the board. Main slip for the cleaner alignment between model and context. Backup slip for the secondary value angles. And no force bet where the real-world picture breaks the model case.